And we're here.
It worked this time.
It worked this time. Now, what's really funny is, so me and Ryan just had this whole like 3-minute conversation about how we were only 5 minutes late, even though we were both on time because we were waiting for our guests, and then realized that Facebook had a glitch and it didn't go live. So now we're live and
even later.
Our guests are here. None other than Mr. Larry Jeffers in the house and Mikey, the student driver, Hollis in the house sitting next to his G-Body.
Howdy ho.
Look at that.
What's up, guys?
Rod.
So it's good to know y'all were late too, because I was kind of tripping out. I was like, man, I'm gonna be late.
It's all good. It's all good.
I was waiting in a different room waiting on you, and I didn't even know where the hell I was at.
We didn't know where we were at either. We
didn't. That's pretty standard for us there, Larry.
I had to call Kelly in here and say, hey, help me out.
And she laughed at you, didn't she?
No, she knows I'm an idiot.
Oh, well, ladies and gentlemen that are just joining us, thank you for joining us tonight. We have Michael Hollis in the house, going to talk about Radial Roundup tonight. Of course, Ryan's going to talk about the Tailgate Throwdown, and Larry is on with us just for a short time because he's got another one to get onto, but to talk about No Prep Wars. So let's get fired up with that one first, because I know you're on short time. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I had to cancel my flight. I was supposed to be heading out on Thursday morning. Larry was going to pick me up in the airport, but we've had to cancel Radial Wars or postpone it, I should say, because of weather. I don't understand, Larry. I mean, why No Prep Wars? Like, why can't we No Prep Wars at 32 degrees temperatures?
I just want to be safe as we can be. 32 degrees, and then the winds are supposed to be pretty bad. I don't want to take the first race and be a total shit show.
Yep, I understand. I agree wholeheartedly.
Safety-wise, I got a lot of friends that are going to be there racing, and even just safety-wise, I just didn't want. It's bad enough. Like if it was prepped and you're dragging and gluing, and that'd be a totally different deal, But 32 to 34 degrees with no prep, I just don't think that'd be a good mix.
No, I agree.
And we hated to do it. I mean, we were ramped up. This was going to be. I think it was going to be a pretty exciting weekend. The last thing we wanted to do was cancel it, and then you get people saying, "Oh, it ain't even supposed to rain," who's going to come out with their family at 32 degrees and walk around? And I don't know. We just thought it was the right thing to do. I
agree. Hollis knows, you're a promoter, you're putting on events, that those are the tough decisions to make, but you guys are both racers. You have to do what's right for the racers. I mean, it's just not worth hurting somebody out there,
It was kind of weird. I started calling customers, I started, just calling them before we put it out and said, hey, I'm just letting you know we're going to do this. And had one guy in West Virginia say, man, I'm glad, we had a bad storm last night and a tree fell into the motorhome, and I don't know if we could even make it there. And then called Brandon James in California, and he don't have his motorhome back. He's hoping to get it back tomorrow, and then that's a long drive for him. And he's like, man, that'll work good for me. And then I had another guy, his car was waiting on a part, and then it was just funny. Like we called probably 7 or 8 guys today, and they were all like, man, this will work out great.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But we didn't mean it to be that way.
No, I know. Well, but tell everybody what No Prep Wars is about. I mean, it's a brand new event, brand new series, actually. So how many are we doing this year?
5 this year.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was something, I had friends and, customers that race the other series, and it's an awesome series, but it's hard for somebody that owns a business to go to 15 events a year, back to back to back to back, off for a week, back to back to back to back. And I thought, man, if we could just do 5 races a year, maybe 6 races a year, and just make it fun, it'd be cool. And then I thought, I'm going to get crucified on an IHRA, everybody bitching that, hey, this guy's doing something different now. So when we brought in the 6.0 and 7.0 index class, and if you're an IHRA member, you get to run it for free. I thought that's pretty cool. It'll get, regular people that don't get to see them kind of cars be able to come out with their family and, have one entry for free and bring their kids and stuff out and see some fast stuff and just have a good time.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So far, it sounds like everybody's digging it. We'll see how it goes.
That's good. Well, Hollis, you guys, you haven't been to a Radial Roundup event, I don't think, Larry, but there, there's a ton of stuff that goes on at one of those events that has nothing to do with the racing. Okay. Just about the racers and the kids and all. I mean, everything that you're into, Larry, it's the same deal. And so I think it puts you in a different headspace as far as putting on an event when you are looking at more than just, I want the fastest cars in the world out there. When you're looking at the whole experience for people, I think it changes things.
we want to make new heroes. we want new people to come out. We want people that can't run with, the other guys, maybe drag your stuff out and have a good time.
Right.
And the biggest thing that I saw when I was going to these events was, people jumping at, guessing at the tree. So we're just going to do a pro tree. That way nobody's getting no advantage or guessing at the tree. And we just want to make it, have a fun event, come out with your family and have a good time. And I thought if we get this thing rolling, how cool would it be to have a small tire and a big tire, run for a world championship one day,
Yeah.
I think that'd be cool.
So right now, what's the format? Who can come out and race? What can they bring?
Anybody can come out and race. Got a steel body and steel roof car.
That's all.
We're changing a couple rules around because there's a lot of people that's got cars out there with an oversized wing or a big wing, and they can't go race somewhere else, because they got rules on the wing size. So if you got an oversized wing and you couldn't race somewhere else before, I think we're going to add like 25 pounds to your car.
Yeah.
Bring it out.
That's awesome. I love that. So what's the response been so far? I mean, not with the cancellation, but with the series as a whole.
No, I mean, everybody, it seems like it's going to be awesome. I mean, there's people that, that called me that said they couldn't go to the other series and they've had a car sitting there, and they just wanted a place to go race it, and hopefully they'll bring it out.
That's awesome.
We got some cool, like me, man, when, years ago, I liked that Swamp Thing. That's a badass looking car,
Oh yeah.
White Zombie and all that. Them guys are excited. Them guys are all excited. I just want to get it back to how it was, and maybe hopefully we can do this, and you ain't got to have $1 million to go run a series.
Right. Well,
because you got a business, man. That's hard to take off 14 or 15 times a year to go race something.
It is. And, you're talking to, guys that all the rest of us on here, well, all four of us on here are all business owners, right? We work for ourselves, and so it's tough. And, I'm not going to say names, but you and I, obviously know a bunch of guys in the other series and are friends with lots of those guys. And some of them that are the nicest guys out there, they have struggled for years to do it. And they literally are making $0 because instead of being at home doing their business, they're paying somebody else to do their business with the money they're making from the other side. Like it doesn't, it just doesn't make sense. And that's getting to be harder and harder when they stack all these events on top of each other.
And plus, you're out there racing and everybody thinks you're having fun, and racing is fun, but man, it's a lot of work. It's not all fun and games, and you guys know that. And then you got, your employees sitting back at your business, and, they're pissed off because they're thinking that you're out there running, and the only reason you're doing it is because they're taking care of your business. And then there's conflict there. And
right.
I don't know. I think anybody can leave for 4, 5, 6 weekends out of the year.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of people say like too much of a good thing is a bad thing, and we've been there too, where, you see there's just too many races. And like y'all are saying, a lot of people, I think a lot of people in that other series, if you notice, like a lot of them come and go, they'll be hot and heavy for a couple years and they'll leave for a couple years, and you can't help but think that's what a lot of it is. They just get burned out on it,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I always say if Christmas was once a month, it wouldn't be special no more.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a really good way to put it. That is a really good way to put it. Well, and for me, I love being at the races. I love doing it. 90% of the time I'm not out there enjoying the races, the same because I'm working at it, but still it's awesome to be a part of something special. And I'm really looking forward to this whole series. I think it's going to be a good time, and I can't wait, to see how it's received, and I can't wait to see what kind of weird cars we see come out. Because the truth is, like when I moved here to Texas originally in the 90s, and Mikey can stand with this, I felt like I was the only guy in the whole state of Texas that didn't own a Pro Mod car. Now, by today's standards, they're what would be an older top sportsman car. But back in the day, dude, you could run Pro Mod every single weekend in Texas. Not even exaggerating. Every single week.
You could run Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yes. And those cars, a ton of them are still out there. And guys have them and they're sitting. Yeah. And dude, if you gave them a place where they could go run on in an event like this, where it was like, dude, we don't care what it is, bring it out and have fun and see if you can run a number. That is awesome. So I think it'd be great.
As it looks like a car and it's got a steel roof and quarters.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
What all tracks are you going to, Larry? I've seen a little bit about it, but I haven't kept up with it too much. But what all tracks are you going to?
Man, you got me here. We're going to Alabama.
Hold on, I think I got it. Oh no, I don't.
Pull it up. I know what it is. I will mess it up here.
Hold on, I'll grab it.
Alabama, Jackson.
It's at noprepwars.com, right?
42. Yeah.
Oh, no, hold on. Yeah, so we were supposed to be starting out here. Dude, my computer is not happy about looking this up right now. Hold on. Is it on the IHRA site?
No.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
I got it on my phone, but I'll really screw that up.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure I just told you where all we're going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, hold on. I got it. I got it written down right
Alabama, here. Jackson, Ozark, Kilcare.
Ozark, that's right.
And Dragway 42. So
yes, Dragway 42. Oh, and Kilcare. Yeah, Kilcare.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, so I had somebody just sent me a message asking this question. So Larry, you've built like all these cars for all of these people for all these years. Have you, you haven't been driving a Pro Mod in a long time because you're too darn busy.
Since I drove my bus. Yeah,
I know. So the question is, when are we going to see the bus? When are we going to see you racing some more? Or are you just too busy right now?
Yeah, I'm too busy. Craig Sullivan's got the bus. It's almost done. It's back together. Whenever he wrecked his Mercury, I gave him my bus and a brand new motor and everything and said, just bring it back how you took it. And he's getting it ready. He's going to run all the IHRA Hot Rod Classics and Pro Mod with the bus.
Nice.
So that's the plan with that right now.
I love it. Oh, here we are. Barn is being a smart ass in here. And he's like, I wish there was a website where all of these would be listed.
That's coming.
No, it's his website. Send me the link, Barn, you smart ass. Yeah. But we are working on that right now. Yeah. Well, so besides the no prep action, you said which classes get to come and race for free?
Just the 6.0 and 7.0 index class.
Yeah, so 6.0 and 7.0 is any IHRA member. You get to come and race for free.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah, if you run 6.0 or 7.0, you get one entry. You could buy back if you lose, but I just thought it'd be awesome. Where are you going to go run somewhere for free for $2,000?
Yeah, nowhere.
And it makes you feel. I don't know, man. I think it makes you feel special. I would feel good pulling through the gate and say, hey, man, I'm an IHRA member. I'm here to run 6.0 or 7.0 and race for free. If not, it's $100. I think it's $100 to enter. So a membership's only $120. So
right.
Be stupid not to be a member.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
You don't have to be, but I just thought it'd be cool. I just thought it'd be cool to make them a part of it.
Oh yeah, I agree. So, So do we have a rescheduled date yet for this one that we're having to postpone? We're going to work on that, right?
They're working on it right now.
Okay.
It's hard, man. It's hard to come back at the same place with a good date because we can't do nothing in September and October because that's when all the team finals and then the world finals are for IHRA. So it's
right.
Until you get some more help and you got people running this deal and running that deal, it's just hard for Mel and everybody to do it all.
Yeah, agreed. So this year, I know you got to cut out here in a minute, so I don't want to take up too much of your time, but let's talk IHRA for a second. I've got the schedule in front of me here for so we have the No Prep Wars, we have the Hot Rod Classics, which the first Hot Rod Classic is going to be not this weekend, but next weekend here at Extreme Raceway Park. So that'll be good. We'll be live streaming.
That should be badass. You got Pro Mod. You got Pro Mod coming back to IHRA. You got Top Sportsman, Top Dragster, all the quick rod classes. Hot rod, quick rod, super rod. We got a real steel class. I think that's going to be pretty badass.
Oh yeah, I agree. So what made you bring Pro Mod back? I know at first, everybody expected Pro Mod to be in IHRA immediately, but you said, no way, we got to get this thing rolling first. And the response has been awesome, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, we got to get some kind of excitement back going,
Right. I love it. I'm a Pro Mod fan.
And give track. Yeah, and give tracks, another way to make money, to have some bigger events.
Yeah, I love it. All right, well, we appreciate you being here. You can hang out as long as you want. But... I appreciate
you guys for all you do, man. I appreciate you, Chad. You know that.
I know. Yeah, and we're so everybody in the world knows it. We Larry and I have plans for taking over the world, and so we're trying. We've got a lot of stuff in the works, and I'm going to be behind the scenes with the live streams.
Hopefully all a huge part of it.
IHRA. Yeah, we've got a lot of stuff that we're doing, and this year and moving forward into the future. I grew up as an NHRA kid, but I got to tell you, there's some fun and exciting things coming to IHRA. So you guys definitely want to check that out. And if you are not, if you have not been to an IHRA race, you need to go to a Hot Rod Classic this year, or go to a team finals. If you want to go and see a race that is like none other I've ever been a part of, go to a team finals event. They are epic. There is
a team finals was a blast.
Oh my God, there's so much fun. The team finals for Division 4 at XRP were unbelievable. Yeah, the number of people that were there, everything about it is just a really neat format. Yeah, you got to check it out for sure. So make sure if you guys are out there and you're trying to figure out what races to go to this year, join IHRA and go to an IHRA race. There's a lot of great stuff going on.
And go out and support your IHRA tracks, because owning a racetrack is a hard, tough deal.
Yeah.
If you didn't know it, Larry owns a racetrack too. I
leased it out.
He's a glutton for punishment. Yeah.
No, I leased it out.
Did you?
Yeah, the guy that took it over, he deserves it, man. He'll make it work. He's a great guy, and his whole family lives in the area, so he's got plenty of help, and he works it 24/7. So I have no doubt in my mind he'll make a go of it. I'm too far away, and I can't.
What's his name? What's his name?
Ricky Skelton. Call him Possum.
Yeah.
But man, he breathes it and he lives it, and I think he's going to do really well.
That's awesome.
And he deserves it from day one, man. When I met the guy, I said he deserves it. His mom worked there all her life. His dad raced there when he was a kid, and his son races. It's just a family deal. Like they're all right there within probably 800 feet of the racetrack.
Yeah, really? I like your track. I went there making 2021. I really dig your track. It reminds me a lot of Mikey. Have you ever been to his track out in Sykeston?
No, I've seen a bunch of old videos of it, some old Urban Hillbilly videos.
Dude, it was as soon as I pulled in the gate, it reminded me of Texas Raceway, nobody's business.
That's what everybody says.
Super nice.
Yeah.
The surface is like smoother than anywhere I've ever been.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good surface. I loved it, man. As soon as I went there, I was like, it was nostalgic for me. I was like, holy crap, man. Like, I never thought I'd feel that feel again, but I did. I
And it's got nice bathrooms, air conditioned bathrooms. It's just a really, really nice little place.
I just need to move closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God.
It's just hard. It's just hard finding help, you know.
Oh, I know. And
everybody thinks it's fun. Everybody thinks it's fun. It's never ending stuff to do. Never ending stuff to do.
Yeah.
You're an electrician.
You can't make
mechanic,
money at a racetrack unless you have events going on all the time, which means you have to work on the racetrack all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it. And that goes for any kind of event venue. It doesn't matter whether it's a racetrack or a wedding venue or whatever. If there isn't, if you're not keeping the place up and if it's not booked all the time, you're never going to make any money doing it, and if it doesn't make money, it can't survive. And that's
I know. Trust me.
That people don't understand when they, we get all these guys that, bitch and moan about a drag strip closing up. But two things. Never in history have there been more operating drag strips than there are today in the United States of America. Never. Okay. So yes, it sucks when a racetrack closes, but we have lots of racetracks. And the problem is that if you aren't there supporting them, and that means, dude, just going to a Friday night race, buying a beer, buying a hot dog, whatever. Even if you're not going racing, if your junk is broke, don't quit being a drag racing fan. Go to the races, take your family out there, hang out, enjoy it, so it matters. And if you can't, then dude, go to the racetrack and donate some money. I mean, whatever, be a sponsor, anything, because racetracks need help all the time.
And don't get online and bitch about it and badmouth it, and that ain't helping it. If you can't say nothing nice about a racetrack, just shut up and don't say nothing.
Yeah.
It's hard, man. I mean, the staging lanes is hard. The tower is super hard. I mean, that's a hard job. You got somebody down there bitching because their dialing's wrong, but they rolled their window down and their dialing's all smeared. You can't read it anyway. And it's a super hard deal. I mean, nobody works their butt off in the staging lanes all weekend for really just a labor of love to get bitched out all the time. So just chill out.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, and I got to tell you, I mean, you know how much time I spend on the tower.
Me and my kids, if I'm walking through if I walk through a racetrack and I'm walking around, I see trash, I pick it up. Don't just leave it sit there.
Right. Yeah. Well, and here's the thing too, like drag racers, my best friends in the world are drag racers, but y'all are idiots. Okay. This is left. This is right. Like if you tell racers in a driver's meeting, your number and your dial-in or your number, whatever, have got to be on the left side and the back window. Yeah. Those sons of bitches will have it on the windshield and the right side. I mean, every time. And I got to tell you, like the people in the tower at racetracks are too nice. Like, because when I'm running the race, I'll tell you, if you don't bring me a tech card and that tech card isn't filled out, then you know who your check when you win the whole thing is going to be made out to? Not on file. Try and cash that shit at Bank of America, dude.
Right.
Because I am telling you, I will give you a check that says not on file. And if that ain't you, that's too bad. Because the number of people that, I mean, Mikey knows I'm horrible. Like when last year announcing Radial Roundup, which I'll be back for. I can't wait. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But I am harsh on everybody. I mean, I just harp on everybody to get their stuff up there. And it, because otherwise there are multiple people trying to run the computers up there, verifying all the numbers, making sure everything is right, because it really does matter. You can't just go in the computer later.
It's chaos.
It is chaos. Every bracket racer on the planet should have to spend a day in a drag race tower during a bracket race. Yeah. They would never bitch about anything.
I say everybody who drives a race car needs to work that tower for a night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because and in their defense, it's our job as the people putting on races to make it so they don't know how hard it is, right? But then that scenario, though, trust us, when we tell you we need something, it's because we need it. We aren't just trying to be, a pain in the ass about it. So, but yeah, God, story of my life, yelling at racers. So Mikey, Radial Roundup is coming up, not next weekend, but the weekend after. So I know you guys did a podcast from the truck stop last night.
Yep,
So
yep.
what's new? What's exciting? What's going on?
Man, we had Precision Turbo come on board Monday, and they added $2,500 on top of X275. So
Nice.
X5 payouts up to $7,500. Billy Smith, the guy that actually won Ultra Street at the Radial race in Alabama a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
he donated all $5,000 of his winnings onto the pot in Ultra Street. So we're up to 10.
No way.
So man, just hustling every day, trying to get up more sponsorship money, and we got the Junior Dragster giveaway that we're gonna do. Like, I'm really looking forward to that. I think we got $3 or $4 grand put up for the kids' Power Wheels race. Like, it's just man, you know how it is. It gets crazy.
You'll love this, Larry. So they do a Power Wheels race in front of the grandstands there at the Motorplex, right? On the return road.
Right.
And they do it in between rounds while, track prep's happening or whatever. So last year, Dave Comstock, Daddy Dave, comes up to me and he says, "Hey dude, when we get down there for the Power Wheels race, there's 2 age groups." He says, "I'm going to give $100 toward the purse for each one." Right. And I said, "Okay, cool. I'll call you out, for it." And this Power Wheels race is open to racers, kids, or any spectators in the grandstand with little kids, because Mike and Barrett have Power Wheels there for anybody to drive. Okay. Right. So it's open to anybody. It's arm drop. It's super fun. So I go walking up, I start announcing, I'm like, "Okay, folks, for the purse," I said, Dave Comstock said he's given $100 to each class. And I've been watching all of you bastards bet on the starting line, and you got wads of hundos. So start giving money. And what did we end up with, Mikey? Like several $1,000s.
Yeah, I think about 3,500 total is what paid out.
Wow.
So pretty good day for some kids, 5 or 6 year old kids in these Power Wheels.
And we made sure the kids had stacks of cash. So they posed for their pictures with their winning stack of cash. It was awesome. Yeah, it was great.
But that's what ruins it all, is the money.
Yeah, it is. It is. But
then you have a golf cart race and everybody's.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. But for this, for this kind of deal, because it's all coming from everybody standing there, it made it good. And to keep the whole spirit of the thing alive, which we did really well, one of the kids the kid that showed up with his trailer with his, Power Wheels on it and everything, which was awesome. That kid had the field covered. And his dad, when they got pulled up there to line up, went, "We need to do lengths and let this other kid have the leave." And I don't remember, it was like 5 or 6 lengths in the leave, and they crossed the finish line within a foot of each other. I mean, it was like really, really close. It was awesome. So because the way Barrett and Mike do it, and Goldie and all the staff, they are really, really big on, this is fun and this is about the kids. And honestly, nobody gets out of line with it because they know that they'll never be allowed to come back. You know what I mean? So that part of it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then, this is kind of your idea, but this year we're going to give away a Junior Dragster to one of the Power Wheels kids. And, I'm just, everybody asking, well, who gets the junior? Is it the kid that wins Power Wheels? And I'm like, no. Like, I know there's some parent out there that'll spend, 10 grand on a Power Wheels to win $500 Junior Dragster.
Oh, yeah.
So, it's just going to be a random giveaway.
Next thing you'll have a Power Wheels doing 85 mile an hour.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just going to be a random giveaway. Like, all the kids that enter the Power Wheels, their name in a hat. And at the end of the night, we're going to draw one name, and that kid's going to win a race-ready Junior Dragster, along with the suit.
That's awesome, man.
Helmet. James Fox is sponsoring a helmet and some driving shoes. Like, we got the starter It's going to be wrapped like Doomsday Productions and Texas Radial Roundup, you know. So
that's cool.
And I hope it changes some kid's life, you know. I mean, as a guy that grew up years, like, I'm super excited to give this thing away.
Yeah, I was about to say
you might ruin some kid's life.
Yeah, maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
That's the plan.
Get him addicted to drag racing and ruin his life.
Yep.
Exactly.
Sure.
Perfect.
Hey, kid, you hate money? Great.
Yeah. Good. You're our kind of person.
Yeah. 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 But you'll make good friends.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a t-shirt I need to make. Right, of course I hate money. I'm a drag racer.
Right.
Oh God.
Either hate money,
I gotta hop off here, man.
All right, Larry. Well, we appreciate you joining us, dude.
Hey,
for
appreciate
sure.
you guys. Now we
no
appreciate
problem.
you guys, man. Thank you for all you do. Thank you guys.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
See you, man.
Dude, Larry's a great dude, and I really appreciate him joining us. He's super fun to work with for sure. So
yeah,
the dude is intense, and he is all about it, man. It's awesome.
I'm glad he got IHRA too, because it's very refreshing that an organization that's actually ran by racers. You know what I mean? That's pretty refreshing this day and age.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I literally, it would take an hour show to tell you all the things that that Larry and I have talked about, and that we've, discussed the, down the road kind of stuff with IHRA and No Prep Wars and everything. But it's great because he is the real deal. And, it's funny because on paper you look at Larry and he's got all these, businesses, the oil company, the chassis company, all the things. He's just, if he was smart, he would do one thing and he'd cash all the big checks, right? But he's not. He's the guy that's going, well, somebody needed to save IHRA, and so he did. And and that it's that kind of thing. And it's he's just a really good person. He's a good human being, and that's what we should all strive to be. So it makes me happy. And they build up a hell of a race car. His race shop is really cool. And to show you how hardcore he is too, Larry lives above his race shop.
Oh, that's fucking badass.
He has a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, apartment, whatever you want to call it, upstairs in one corner of, the shop. And when you go, like if you went in the parts department and then through and you go up the stairs to the office, like to his office and his wife's office, and then there's another door there. Well, when you go through that door, you're in the living room and all of that. And I mean, like I go there and I stay at his house. Like he's not, it's So that's really awesome. Good dude for sure. So he's as hardcore as they come. But so on Radial Roundup though, let's talk again about that. So I know money changes and stuff, but remind everybody, what classes do we have?
Man, so we got a little bit of, we got stuff for everybody. So we got No Time Small Tire, which is pretty much anything goes on a 28, 10.5 or a 275. There is a wheelbase rule, plus or minus 3 inches. No wheelie bars, must have doors. That's pretty much it on that. We got a limited drag radial this year, X275. We got Ultra Street. We got My Class Cheap Street, which is streetcar index deal. We got True Street. We got Extreme Street. We got Modern Muscle, a Junior Dragster class, and the Power Wheels. Everybody, long weekend, but it'll be worth it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I have to say, you said, the small tire shootout deal. Did you guys hear that somebody showed up at Conquer the Concrete with a alcohol funny car? Is that a real thing?
Yeah. So the last Conquer the Concrete race I went to last year, a dude showed up with a fuel altered.
Really?
Which I thought was pretty cool, And then this year, I guess the dude showed up in the alcohol funny car and he thought it was like a regular track race. And then he gets there and he's like, "Oh, y'all are racing like on the top end?" And he's just like, "Fuck it, I'll try it," So that was pretty legit, And then my buddy Travis Cannon actually showed up in the dragster with a twin turbo LS deal in it.
Oh, dude, I love Travis. Travis is great people.
So that was
Did he win?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
well, because that race says anything you want to bring, go.
Yeah. No, I mean it's cool. I mean, different, right? Like we all strive different, and I mean, I've never seen a twin turbo LS and a dragster at a top end race. You know what I mean? Like I wish it last weekend. Now, to be honest, I would have liked to have seen that.
Yeah.
Were you out at XRP for Big Jake's race or no?
And I made it there Thursday night to kind of hang out and work a little bit, but I didn't make it back Friday or Saturday. I've got a ton of house stuff going on and trying to get ready for Radial Roundup and trying to get ready for me to go racing this year. It's like I'm just running a little bit behind, but no, I didn't make it. Barrett kind of kept me updated, and I watched the live feed out in the garage, but it looked pretty good.
No.
Yeah, I was there hanging out with my boy Anthony Smith, Big Worm, out of California, some of the California guys, and also hung out a little bit for a few minutes with Tiana and Brandon Weber, and man, there were some cool cars out there. Some guys that people were not expecting to be fast.
Oh yeah.
And then some guys that everybody said were going to be fast who got their asses handed to them. Dude, there were some races that supposedly were $5,000 or more that were huge upsets.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I mean, and not even like, oh, that guy got drove around at the top, but oh, that guy got left on and never was in the race.
Right.
Like,
what even a factor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched the live feed from home, and yeah, there was a lot of upsets. Like it looked like it was good racing though.
Oh yeah. I had I did have some guys that that had a bet going, and they were, going, hey, if anybody else wants in on this deal, right? And so they came by, and luckily I am a broke dick, so I did not throw money in. Luckily, a couple of my buddies didn't throw money in because they said, hey, we're in if there's room, so come let us know. And nobody ever came and let them know. Thank God, because it was not good. Doug DeLay was out there with Worm. We were hanging out. He says there were 56 on one race. Wow, that's insane.
That's too much cheddar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh, Barrett says his headphones are charging. So there you go. Yeah.
$56,000. I can think of so many things I could do with $56,000. It doesn't include giving it to somebody else because I lost a race.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, Monty Fitzgerald, I suck. I totally missed your post about the tech thing, and I'll ask him. Monty Fitzgerald saying he wants to relocate and become an IHRA tech guy. So there you go.
So Mikey, are you running your car in at the roundup this year, or are you gonna?
Barrett won't let me. Barrett won't let me. Tell me no.
Why?
So
because he's mean.
Apparently, we have too much shit to do. I don't know.
Oh.
No, man, I'll be honest with you. Like, it's too hard for me to try to do both.
Yeah.
Right.
When I try to do both, I feel like I'm not very good at either one. So I need to just stick to putting the race on. Pops is gonna drive the Malibu though, so
nice.
That'll be cool.
How is the Malibu, by the way?
So
how you liking the Malibu? Is the G-Body life your thing now?
Yeah, this thing's pretty legit, and it's a 4-door, so you can load up all the homies and go wherever you want. So that's pretty fun. Yeah,
so it, like you said, it is a 4-door, so AKA a crew cab, as I call them. So it's a crew cab Malibu. What year is it?
80.
An 80 crew cab Malibu. So tell people what's in it and why you got it.
Man, so I 3 or 4 years ago when COVID hit, all the tracks closed down, and street racing got pretty big in the area pretty quick. It's always been big, but when you run out of racetracks, people are going to race somewhere. So I went out to the street races a couple times, and the bug kind of bit me to have a street car again, something I could cruise around. So I bought my little S10, a little 99 S10, and I put a Oaks Performance LS motor in that. And then as I got to driving it more and more and more, I was like, man, this is legit, you know. And I kind of started doing some drag and drive stuff. And I was signed up for Rocky Mountain Race Week in 2021, but I had a little issue. You know, a lot of y'all, some of y'all know me, some of you don't, but I always go race with my dad and my kid, right? Well, my S10's a single cab. Obviously, we can't all fit in this thing, right? So
Right.
I backed out of that, and I just kind of told myself, I was like, man, I said, one day when, you know, the right car comes along, I want something, at least with a back seat, but I really want something up door, you know, just for the easiness of getting in and out and being, you know, comfortable. And I actually looked at a bunch of Ford Fairmonts and LTDs. That's what I wanted, honestly, but I've never really been a Ford guy. And this 4-door Malibu came up at the end of last year. And man, the moment I saw it, I just fell in love with it. And it's kind of funny because I messaged this dude had it, and he posted it for sale in like October. And I messaged him back and forth, and he had like the turbo kit and Holly with it and some stuff like that I really didn't want. And I tried to get him to sell all that stuff, you know, sell me the car without all that stuff. And he was not interested at all. And I just kind of blew it off, you know. And 3 or 4 months later, the car went back up for sale online. And I didn't even realize it was 2 different people. But it was the exact same ad, the exact same pictures. And in the top line, it said, I'll sell it without the Holly and without the turbo kit. And it was about $4,000 cheaper. And I messaged the dude right away, you know, and made him an offer that day on the car. And we went back and forth a little bit and eventually came to an agreement. And I drove to North Carolina and bought it. So came home and just transferred my drivetrain over to this thing and got it running, I guess, middle of February. So I've had it running about a month and a half now. But man,
so it's got everything out of the S10 in it?
Yeah, I put the motor and transmission just right out of the S10 over in it. So
how quick is it so far?
Man, low 6s. I haven't really stood on it very hard. I got to do a few things suspension wise and, you know, just work a few bugs out, but it ought to run about the same as the S10 did. It's actually 10 pounds heavier.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, exactly. Which it's not light. It weighs 3580 with me in it.
Yeah, but you would think it would weigh a lot more than the S10.
Oh, right. Like the S10 was very heavy.
Yeah, S10s are heavier than you think.
Yeah, they are. So, but I signed up for. I got in Rocky Mountain Race Week 2.0 again this year, and then I signed up for 666, that 8 or 10 day long deal.
Yep.
From Missouri, Texas, and New Mexico. So I'm gonna buy a Gear Vendors Overdrive for this thing and put some AC on it, and I got a little drag week trailer I'm working on, and I'm gonna give that a go. See how we like it.
I love it. And that way, Pops and the kid can join you.
Yeah. Oh, and you know, Landon's racing Junior Street now. So you know, when you tell him he gets out of school for 5 days straight and gets to race every day, that was a pretty easy selling point. He was all about that.
Oh yeah. Well, when we started Junior Street in Rocky Mountain Race Week, the first time, I mean, it was the first drag and drive that had that, you know, and everybody said that was crazy and you can't do this and whatever. And Matt was like, all of the racetracks are, you know, NHRA tracks that have a Junior Street is a legal program with them. There is no reason not to do this. They obviously can't drive the car down the freeway, but they can race. And so it's been a huge hit in Rocky Mountain Race Week, and I love it. And I'm glad that other drag and drives have started to do it too, you know?
Yeah. And I mean, you know, I grew up as a junior dragster kid, you know, and I mean, I have vivid memories of me and my dad, you know, 25, 30 years ago going racing, you know, like we would load up and go to Alabama or Georgia or Louisiana, wherever, you know, and to think that, you know, me and my kid, my dad are about to all load up in this thing and go do the same thing. It doesn't get any better than that, you know.
Heck no. I love it.
Do it. Y'all gonna have something together or what?
What's that?
I said, is Jake gonna do Junior Street? Y'all got something together? Or?
Jake's motor's done. We're hopefully going to get it on the run stand just to make sure everything's good here in the next week or two. And then we're going to bring it home, put it in the truck. And I still got a few things to get for it, but he's working on it. We've got it stripped down so we can put the cage in it. And I'm hoping by the end of the year, it might be next year. But if I get it all lined out, it may be the end of the year.
So who's doing the cage in it?
Well, I don't know yet. I haven't figured that out. Why, you want to help me with it?
I will volunteer my tubing bender and my welding skills, and I will help you with that if you guys want.
Man, that would be awesome.
Yes. And if you say no, I want to do it myself, I will give you my tubing bender and you can use it. So either way you want it, I'm down. So
look, here's the deal. I do like getting my hands dirty, but when it comes to safety and fitment, I want somebody that knows what they're doing. Because I want him to be safe in it. And
no, I said I would help.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I will help you. You tell me what bar. You will.
Perfect. I'm in. No, you guys will laugh. I just I'm building an elevator in my shop to go to the mezzanine where my office is, because it sounds fancy and it's not. There wasn't originally supposed to be a second floor and a mezzanine where it's going, so there's no room for a staircase that won't be in the way of everything. Yeah, so I'm building an elevator. So I had a bunch of 1 3/4 roll bar tubing that was just sitting around, and the other day I went, you know what, I'm going to use that to make the car, that goes up and down. So it looks like a roll cage that you step into and ride up and down. So it's pretty cool. So
that's pretty sweet.
I'll have pictures for the next show. You guys can see it. But yeah.
Carl says Mikey should have bought a Fairmont. No, Carl, he bought a G body. And listen, until you slip into the seat of a G body, you just can't understand.
No, chicks dig them.
I saw this Malibu. I knew that was the one.
I feel naked without a G body. It's there needs to be another one in my life. Maybe.
G-body, man, that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of cars in your life, so Ryan, you have recently gotten rid of and acquired all at the same time. So what's the current status of vehicles in your newly expanded shop?
Look, you ever make a decision that you go back and kind of go, I don't know, that was questionable. I may or may not have done that.
All the time.
Pretty much every day, my friend. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you see, because here's what happened. See, I traded in some cash for my Silverado or my GMC, my square body, for my Malibu. And the reason behind that was there were some underlying issues with my car that really irritated me. And I really wanted to try to focus on getting Jake racing and not me anymore. And then I blew it up in like a week and a half. And then it was like, man, I should just fix this thing. And then it was like, no, I can't just fix this pile of crap. I need to put a big block in it. So I put a big block in it. And then I started working on it more and more. And I realized, man, this is a pretty nice truck. I don't want to use this truck to haul shit around and bang stuff in the bed. So then I decided that, man, I really could use like another truck, like one that you can get scratches and dings and, go in the back. If you get stuck on the other side of the pond, wait a few days and, wait till it dries up. So there's this, I have the 67 Chevelle and I had dreams and aspirations for that. But I quickly realized that in the current economy that we're in and the money I have to pump into the property we own, the chances of me finishing that car are like 1 in a million. It may take me about 25 to 30 years. And let's face it, the way I've lived the first 41 years of my life, there's a good chance I'm not going to make it that far. So I decided to post it for sale. And I was like, maybe I'll sell it. And then maybe I'll buy me another truck. We'll pump whatever money we have left over into Jake's truck. Well, nobody has any money for project cars right now. So that didn't go very well. But then a guy poked me on the shoulder and said, hey, man, you want a 72 GMC pickup that runs good? And I'm like, yeah, possibly. And so I went to go look at it. And, it's got bumps and bruises. It's got the kind of character. I call it character. That's the kind of character I was looking for in a truck. And it ran good. And so we made the deal. And he brought it over to me. because he had to hide the transition from his wife, which
Oh.
because he has a lot of race cars. He's got a lot of stuff. So, wife's kind of like, hey, you're like 55 years old. It's time to slow down. So he hid it from her and brought it over a couple weeks later, and I fired it up and drove it off the trailer and loaded the Chevelle, and we were all happy campers.
Gotcha.
So me and Jake hopped in it to go drive around in it, and it went about a block and a half, and it died, wouldn't run anymore. So the good running,
of course it did, because it's yours.
Yeah.
If you want to quickly make a good running vehicle run like shit, just hand the title to Ryan Wing.
Yeah.
If you want to make one of his cars run mint, have him hand the title to you. It'll be
correct. Almost immediately.
Almost. Yeah.
So Jake was less than enthusiastic about the truck, but it's a simple thing. I know what it is, and I'm going to fix it. But I went out the next day, and I was like, hey, where this thing died, it's kind of in my way. So let's move it. It should start back up. And, it turned over, and it got ready to bust off. And then all of a sudden, you ever heard the sound of sizzling bacon? Yeah. Yeah. Well, you're not supposed to hear that inside your truck. And so when you hear the sound of sizzling bacon and then you're engulfed in smoke like somebody left the bacon on too long, then you should probably go pull the battery cable off. And so I did, and I found all the melted wires. So yeah, it's right out here just underneath the trees now. And that's probably where it's going to stay for a while. Yeah.
Goldie is calling you out.
Yeah.
He said,
okay, Goldie, I have that picture of you and Barrett. I know when it's bigger, it probably doesn't look like this, but right now, what it looks like when it's a small thumbnail is that he's smelling your head. That's what it looks like to me. I won't be able to. That's what it looks like. It looks like he's like, which he probably is, because you work in a place where you make yummy things that smell good, but still, yeah.
Freaking Kyle.
It's true.
Yeah.
Bring a trailer, Ryan Wing, and make sure someone where you're going has access to one.
Yeah. Well, see, hang on a minute now, Kyle. You bailed me out. That was a friend bail out. You actually bailed out Richie through me, but you had to take me to get it was a mess.
Yeah.
I appreciate you for that, though, buddy. Appreciate you.
That's too awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
Got a lot of trucks here. If anybody's looking for one, I got a real good, smooth runner when it wants to.
Is it cheaper now that it doesn't run?
Of course not. It's in my possession. I'm going to put some tire shine on it and ask about $300 more than I had the Chevelle.
That's awesome.
I like your.
You really should. You really should just start flipping cars. I mean, I
used to do that. That's what I used to do. And things have just gotten out of hand. It's time for me to stop. So it stops with the GMC. I'm not going to GMC.
Back in Malibu wagon.
What's that?
You go find your Malibu wagon and buy that car back.
I can't, because Andy used it for parts and then crushed it.
Well, I guess
you know what? I love Andy to death because I love the car. But Andy, as long as he lives, will be Andy. My car is ruined. Reynolds. I'm sorry, but I wanted to kill him when he wadded that thing up and whined like it was the end of. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would have cried that I crashed it, but he was like, "It's totaled. We got to throw it away." I was like, "I'll give you $8 for it right now." You dumbass! I could fix that thing and run and drive. It would have been driving in 2 hours. Fine. I mean, it wouldn't have been as pretty as it is now. Don't get me wrong, but it was like,
he likes to keep it clean.
He does. It's a beauaful car.
See, I'm just waiting for Jennifer to come off that black car of hers, because one of these days I'm gonna get my hands on that thing. They almost sold it once.
Yeah. Barrett talks about waffling it about once a year, and then it never happens.
Yeah.
Speaking of the waffles, a bunch of people have been getting approached by the man about the waffles.
Really?
A bunch of people I know. Now, the people I know that are getting approached are the guys that, if I said their names, you guys would know they do waffles all the time. Every other week, kind of deal. Yeah. One of them moved from the state he was in where they wanted him to pay for things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, here's the deal. I mean, listen, the man is always going to try to keep you down however you go about your life. That's what the purpose of it is. But my whole thing is if I could post a car for sale for a certain price and I could sell it, what's the difference between that and waffling it? Well, they consider it gambling. Right. Is that what it is? They consider it gambling.
Yeah.
Well,
and by all that's holy, when you sell a car, even between private parties here in Texas, somebody has to pay the tax on it. That's the other thing. So
what'd you say, Mike?
I said it was a gamble when you traded the Chevelle for the truck.
You see what I'm saying?
True.
Like, I'm not
true.
Same thing.
Like, it's the same thing. It's a stupid man. Don't get me started on Uncle Sam. I never liked that dude. Every freaking Christmas, every freaking Thanksgiving, always show up, eat all the food, talk a bunch of shit, and leave. I hate that guy.
Jennifer says that she thinks they have some of those parts in the garage.
Oh, really? You have pieces of the old Midnight Blue Pilot Crap Malibu? God, I do miss that car. I think what I do is I prefer to put myself in turmoil where I deeply regret things. It's something about my psyche. I must regret something. And even though I'm the guy who walks around telling everybody, I don't regret anything, man. I don't regret a damn thing. Oh, there's so many regrets.
Dude, Jennifer is on fire tonight, dude. You go, Goldie.
She knows how to dig in deep. She's
Carl Ainsley, too, is owning it also. Saw the reel of the red GMC. That thing is rougher than a stucco bathtub.
Well, you didn't watch mine. It's green, damn it.
Oh, that's awesome. And nobody on earth wants your station wagon, Charles Wickham, who says, I have a gently used Volvo wagon for sale. No.
There's no.
Or for trade. Yeah, nobody wants that. But I do like Charles's idea, start a church and use bingo for waffling cars. That's a great idea.
And the Lord said, you must pick a number. Pick a number.
The church of Triple B right here.
Yeah.
Dude, let's do that shit. That's a great idea. We're doing this all wrong. Screw this whole car business bullshit. We need to start a church.
Boy,
the church of what's happening. Hey, I am an ordained preacher. So,
get out of here.
I am.
We should start like a marriage place, like in the.
Dude, I got ordained in 2011 and did my first wedding back then. I've done a bunch of weddings. Yes. Wow. Yeah.
Could you
imagine church of what's happening now, my friend?
I couldn't do a wedding.
Lycan says he can be the organist. He says I can play the organ. I really can.
Yeah, dude, it's already set up, dude.
It is. It's like we practically have a church now.
Yeah, I could be a PR guy. Mike, what do you want to do?
Man, I don't know. I guess I can walk around with a bucket and tell everybody.
Yeah, there you go. The money man.
Yeah.
Sure, y'all can find something for me to do, I'm sure.
Yeah. Pass that plate around. Pass it.
Pass the plate. Except, see, in our church, instead of it being a plate or a pie tin, it'll be a valve cover.
Yeah.
You send big valve covers down the aisle, fill them with money. Be perfect. Or an oil pan. We get richer. We'll put an oil pan down.
We're going to get arrested.
We're
going to get arrested.
Hey, Otis, shut up.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna definitely be at the radio roundup. We're gonna come out there and hang out. Goldie wants to know why I haven't sent her a media request. I forgot.
Well,
there's been
get your email in.
Huh?
Yeah. You're talking about.
Yeah, I heard you and Crown. That's
yeah.
Yeah.
I heard the same. I don't know.
Speak up.
You heard this one time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's awesome.
There's some videos that can't ever be.
All right, boys. Well, we're rolling late, so let's start talking Tailgate Throwdown before we have to cut this off here shortly. So, Ryan, tell the peoples, how's everything going with the Tailgate Throwdown? What any new news, any new entries, anything exciting?
Dude, yeah, it's actually going really, really well, man. We've got a lot of response. We've got almost 1,000 people in the the Facebook page. And man, we got a lot of guys that are calling each other out. It looks like Outlaw is going to be pretty fun. We've already got some foot races lined up.
Nice.
Dude, it is. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a good time. I'm excited about it. I think right now, if four of the guys that have talked to me in the background who aren't speaking up in the page show up, we should have almost 10 trucks in stick shift. Does that blow your mind?
Yeah,
that is nuts.
But,
so yeah, so I'm excited about that. The street
Newport Dragway,
huh?
It's that Newport Dragway in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you been there before, Mikey?
I haven't. I've seen a bunch of videos. It looks pretty cool. That place kind of got famous a couple years back when Birdman and JJ raced there for like 10,000.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
That it's pretty fucking wild.
Yeah. So we know that Birdman was fast, but JJ was just trying not to crash.
Man, so that was apparently that was JJ's home track.
Oh, really?
Back when JJ had that 4th gen Firebird or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's actually a pretty good race. You ought to go look it up on YouTube. Urban Hillbilly has a pretty badass video of it.
Yeah.
But it's worth the watch. You ought to go check it out. It's pretty good watch.
Yeah.
Barrett was just trying to join us and then disappeared.
So what happened to Barrett?
Yeah, I'm excited about going there though. They've made a bunch of changes and some improvements around there. They've got it looks like it's going to be pretty fun. My buddy Chad went up there and checked it out last weekend.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I'm excited about it. I'm really pumped about it. And everybody else seems like it's got good vibes around it. So
yeah. What did Chad find out when he was there?
Oh, well, he checked the track out. And the track is exactly what you would expect on a runway.
Nice.
But I watched some video from the weekend after he went, I guess, or maybe he went 2 weekends ago. I can't remember. It's one of the two. But it looked like some guys were moving out there. They had some guys running some low 530s, 520s. You're not gonna go out there and bust out a 480 or anything like that. So it's gonna be like the best that it can be between a no prep and a slightly prepped event.
Nice. Perfect.
So
Barrett brought the dogs.
Hey,
is that a real bunny or a toy bunny?
It's definitely a toy. It's actually.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you. You sound horrible.
Sounds like you put your voice inside of your pocket.
Yeah.
Or maybe, does your wiener have the mic?
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what it sounds like. Not where I was going, but definitely what it sounds like. And now he's frozen.
He can't hear us either.
No, he can't hear nothing.
Okay,
I'm gonna let him. He's frozen. So.
No.
Man.
Internet.
He gone.
Yeah.
He says it's the headphones. Sure, it's the headphones.
Own several expensive microphones. Can't live stream for sure.
Fair point. Fair point.
Ryan, are y'all you think this can be y'all's only tailgate throwdown, or is this gonna be like a yearly thing, or what?
Dude, I want to make it a yearly thing. I think I want to. I've never done this, so I'm pretty green. So I'm hoping that I can make it go as smooth as possible.
Yeah.
And we're basically going to go through this one and see how it goes and fill it out and see if we want to do it again. But I can already tell you I do. I think it would be it's. Dude, the guys, I've talked to so many people that I've never met before, and everybody seems just super awesome about it. And so I'm hoping it goes well and people want to come back and experience it again. So
yeah. Well, obviously I don't have anything that runs right now with a tailgate, but
I know.
If you decide to do it next year, let me know. I'd definitely be interested in coming in it. And when it gets closer or whatever, if you have any questions from the promoter side, feel free to hit me up.
Dude, yeah, I got a couple things I want to pick your brain about just to make sure I'm doing it right when we get there.
Well, my phone's always on.
Oh yeah, you know it. I wanted to let it just kind of stretch its legs and see what it was going to do, and make sure that people were really going to, participate in it before. But we already got guys throwing money on top of classes too, so it's pretty cool.
Badass.
Yeah, I'm excited. But I'll definitely poke you about it, and
Yeah.
and there'll definitely be another one. I think though, I've got to talk to, we're gonna do it there in Newport. I've never been there before. Hopefully it works out good. Scott seems like an awesome dude. Let's not act like you aren't.
The problem is, Goldie, there's no open weekends.
There's no open weekend.
But there is.
You're like, thank God I'm too busy for that. Yeah.
So busy. Yeah. But so hopefully the track suffices, and I don't know how big it is or how small it is. It looks like it should be decent for a first time deal, and we'll just see where it goes from there. But Scott's been so awesome with the whole deal and very open-minded about what we're trying to do. And so if we can keep it there, I'd like to keep it there. I know it's a drive for everybody, but man, that's part of the fun too,
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For
You
sure.
Your motor. They're balling you out in front of everybody.
They are.
I am.
Dude, Goldie's all fired up tonight.
Raced in 7 years. They sure talking shit.
Well, next year, if we do it again next year, we might add actually a long roof class.
Hey, hold the fuck up. It's Tailgate Throwdown. They got a fucking car in their driveway that runs that has a tailgate. I'm gonna go borrow that motherfucker.
Well, see,
there you go.
We don't have a class for wagons yet. So
what tailgate throwdown do we got here?
It was the lopsided tailgate throwdown, but next year we're gonna
tailgate, bro.
Dude, we're gonna
next year we need a wagon class.
We're gonna have a long roof class next year. So
okay, then I will bring not only a truck, but I will bring a long roof 56 as well.
Yeah, I didn't want to hammer it with class.
I'll trailer the 56 with the race truck.
That's what I was about to say. If you don't do that, you ain't shit.
Yeah, I didn't want to hammer it with too many classes, being it was the first one,
For sure.
So, but I'd like to do a junior class too, to incorporate kids doing it too, and that way Jake's got a place to race too.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll get there. We'll grow.
The response to the event's been awesome though. I mean, I'm super stoked for that.
Yeah,
I'm bummed that I'm not going to be there.
Me too,
because
man.
I'm going to be in Vegas. But
I told you to tell Holly to reschedule their. I don't know.
I did. I told them, and they laughed out loud at
How
you
dare
and
they?
me both. I
How
know.
dare they?
I know.
Hey, you know what? They can pay us off at Tailgate Throwdown for losing you. They can send us a check.
I like that. I like that.
I mean,
I'll give you a commission on that one. Be perfect.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Newport Dragway, April 26th and 7th. It's the 27th is the race, but they open up at the 26th for testing and grudge. So if you get there early and you want to see what the surface is like, go ahead and swing at it. But just know that it's going to be different at night than it is during the day when we start the race. So, yeah. So be there, be square, or even if you don't have a truck, bring your ass, put it in the seat. Tracks need people in the stands. So
can people buy entries ahead of time or spectator tickets ahead of time, or is everything at the gate?
Everything's at the gate. It's pretty straightforward and simple. You buy a tech card, you race $25 and 10 to spectate. The small tire, big tire have buy-ins. We do have some small payouts for each other class though.
Nice.
But basically the street, full-size street, mini street, and stick shift, you buy your tech card, you're entered. So
what's the buy-in for big and small tire?
Big tires 200, small tires 100, and
nice.
And there's an extra, I think 550 or 650 somewhere around there on top of big tire, and then there's some extra on top of small tire right now. So I'm sure when we get there, everybody will start, pulling another 20 out of their pocket. But
correct.
The whole thing really was just more or less to see how many trucks we can get at one track. So
yeah.
The rest is just the bread and butter, So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yep.
And Mikey, can people buy spectator tickets online for Radial Roundup, or should they just show up at the Motorplex?
You can do both. You can do either or. If you buy them online, it is racedoomsdayproductions.com. You can go on there, buy spectator tickets, VIP spectator tickets, tech cards, whatever you want. Camping passes.
Nice.
Everything's on the website.
Nice.
Yes, Carl.
Um,
Everybody has legit daily classes. I specifically designed a class for truck guys with stock trucks like yours, but you said it's too far. So,
okay, so you said that it is Race Doomsday Productions.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Race Doomsday Productions, that's where you guys want to go if you want to get tickets for the Radial Roundup. And what's the schedule for Radial Roundup?
Man, so we're going to start Thursday night. Thursday night's private testing from 6 to midnight. And then we're going to do another private test session Friday during the day from 10 to 3. And then we're going to take an hour break, prep the track. And 4 o'clock, we're going into qualifying for LDR, X275, and Ultra Street. And we're also going to run Cheap Street and Modern Muscle. We will run that to completion on Friday night. And then Saturday morning, we're going to start with the Power Wheels race. And then we will go into Extreme Street probably about 11 o'clock. And then we'll get one test hit. And then we will go into eliminations for all classes. We will wait and run the radial classes like X275, Ultra Street, and LDR. We will wait a little longer before we start that. So we probably won't start first round of those classes till like 3 or 4 o'clock. Hopefully we'll start like first round of Extreme Street about 1, kind of get that knocked down because we got 64 cars pre-entered in that already.
Wow.
So, it's going to be a lot for those guys. So
that's awesome. 64 cars already?
Yeah. So, man, that class is just kind of snowballed, like we had, I think 2 years ago was the first year we did it. We had 48 show up. And then last year we had like 72. But man, the bad thing is like, as well as I do, anything over 64 cars is 7 rounds.
Yeah.
You got a lot of classes that are 3 and 4 rounds. And then you got this class at 7 rounds. Like it does not work out, So, this year we capped it at 64 to keep it 6 rounds. And we pre-sold the tech cards for that. And already sold out. So,
and explain to everybody what the rules are, generically speaking, for that class.
So it's small tire only. You can run a 29.5, 10.5, or a 315 drag radial. Must be door cars, and it's a random cap between 490 and 510. So basically, we have chips like these. These are just some I have sitting here, but we'll have chips like these, poker chips, and they'll have basically numbers on there from 490 to 510 every 200ths of a second. So 490, 492, 494, 496, 498, all the way to 510. And basically what we'll do the morning of the race, we'll go Facebook Live. I'll draw one chip out of the bag, and that will be the index all day. So just kind of something a little bit random, like 5.0 racing is really popular around here, 490 stuff, 510 stuff. But we feel like this mixes it up a little bit, kind of gives everybody a even playing field per se. So
what was it? When we drew last time, we drew in the tower.
Yep.
I can't remember what was the number for last year. Do you remember?
Last year it was a 496. If I remember.
Okay. All right. There you go.
And it's something cheap. It's $100 to enter, and paying $4,000 to win. I think we're paying $7,000 out total. So just something fun to come race for $100.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. I think it's great.
The Radial Roundup is a badass event.
It is. It's great.
We
were there very, very, very late / early last year, but man, it was really, it was awesome to be a part of it. We had a great time. I really appreciate you guys asking me to come do it again. I mean, it was funny because you literally, like, when we were getting ready to leave, you're like, so you in for next year? I'm like, yeah, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in because I'm too tired to say no.
Right. Yeah, it's man, it's definitely been a team effort. Like Barrett and Goldie do so much for this deal. Like, really, all three of us. I mean, we all three work really hard at what it is, and everybody, right? Like from Chad announcing to Ryan doing media, like all our sponsors on board, like all the racers that support us. Like, it takes everybody really to do it, you know.
Right.
But next year will be 10 years that we've been promoting races, and you know, we're not perfect, obviously, but we work really, really hard at this stuff, you know, and I think it shows, and I think most of the racers understand that, and
Right.
why they support us. You know, it's like the Radial Roundup's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger every year, and this year looks the same. So it's definitely a team effort, you know, but I mean, we
Well,
love
and
it.
if you guys didn't do it well, then you wouldn't be able to do races like this at a place like the Motorplex either.
Right.
I mean,
100%.
you know, the one thing is, like, for people that aren't from around the Dallas Fort Worth area, like, while it does suck that like Texas Raceway's gone and you know, North Star, aka Denton,
Right.
XRP and the Texas Motorplex are two of the most top-notch drag strips in the country, period. Like, dude, I mean, XRP, in my opinion, is the baddest 8th mile racetrack in the country.
Yeah.
And the Motorplex is the Motorplex. I mean, come on.
You
And
know,
so we're really lucky with that regard.
Oh, 100%. Even like my friends that live in Houston, you know, like I'll talk to them and they're like, man, I'm so jealous. Like, y'all got XRP, y'all got Ennis, y'all got Yellow Belly. And yeah, I mean, we really are. And kind of going back to like what Larry said earlier, man, it chaps my ass when somebody gets on Facebook and talks down a racetrack or an event. You know what I mean? Like, going back to what he said, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, just don't say it. Or send somebody a PM. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I
Don't
love
call them out in public.
You know, I love constructive criticism. I want to know what we can do different to make it better for you guys, right? But
Yeah.
don't getting on Facebook and you know, running your mouth about this or that. Like, that's not the way to get anything done.
Well,
You know?
no,
No,
and
not at all.
people have to understand, and this is a huge thing, and it's really, society has changed in a lot of ways, and people want to be the victim or voice their opinion behind a keyboard or a phone or whatever, and really what they're doing is they're killing the sport, because if you continue, like, look, races run long, people oil things down, Mother Nature happens.
Right.
Nobody's ever on time. And if you sit there in the comments and say you're always on time, well, you're a lying pal, you know what?
Yeah.
And you know, the fact of the matter is that people have gone out of their way to travel far to come to this place to race. The people that are there that have put it on have gone through the trouble, all the months of preparing, promoting, and conversations, and trying to get people on board to sponsor and trying to make all those people happy. There's a lot that goes into it. And, you know, for you to be sitting there eating your hot dog and thinking you can do it better and getting on the internet and splashing your mouth around like you're the king dingaling. Well, you know what? There's a special place for those people.
Oh yeah.
There's a special place for
Well,
them.
and it's, you know, when I grew up, it was, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Right.
Absolutely.
And the truth of the matter is we need to get back to that, because it's okay if you're mad at me or at the staff of an event or whatever, and you come to me afterwards, like, totally fine. Right. But, you know, but also that's sort of, and I mean, it sounds funny to say, but like, man up, right? Like, don't get all tough guy on a Facebook page. Like, come up to me and go, dude, you're a dick. That may, you know, why'd you call me out? Why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? You know, I mean, I had a guy at Streetcar Super Nationals last year that went down the racetrack puking. We didn't know at the time what fluid out of it, but it started puking it out after it stood on the bumper and then destroyed the bottom of the car, hitting the ground. And then he continued to drive it all the way down the racetrack, which is one of my pet peeves. So I'm yelling on the mic, you know, and I was giving him a ration of shit. Now, luckily, it ended up that all it did was broke the intercooler. And so it was just water that was spraying all the way down the racetrack. And so it was hot out, so it dried quickly, and we were back in action in 20 minutes. But the guy came to me after the end of the day of racing, and he said, man, that wasn't cool, you know, this and that. And I said, dude, we had no way to know what fluid it is. Either did you. That thing's all over the place, and you kept driving it down the racetrack. I said, are you married? Yeah. I'm like, does your wife like you? And he goes, I think so. I said, well, then she probably wishes you would have stopped too. You know? And I go, a puddle's easier to clean than a stripe. We tell you that all the time. Right. I said, you were being unsafe. you didn't know it was water when it was happening either. And he goes, well, that's true. I said, so there you go. Well, then he goes, well, are you going to make fun of me every time I come to the racetrack again when I come next year? I said, no. And he's like, oh. I'm like, dude, I have way more important things to think about than you. Like at this point, I'm done with it. I was done with it 30 seconds after it happened. I'm glad you're okay and that the racetrack wasn't, screwed up. But let me tell you, if it had been oil, I wouldn't have been the only one bitching at you. And he was like, okay, yeah, you're right. And that was, again, he bitched at me, but he did it there at the tower at the end of the day. He didn't go on, Facebook and go, this goddamn Chad, whatever. Yeah. And so we're good, but dude, people just get where they think that their opinion matters more than it does and that the whole world should hear it. And that's just not, it doesn't help anybody at all.
No.
Just tell people like, it's all about approach, right? Like how you approach the problem in the situation really, usually at the end of the day, that relies on how the situation is handled,
Yeah. Think about it. If a racer came to you guys and said, well, I'll just say for me, if a racer comes to me and says, dude, we blew up the rear end. We're trying to get a new one in it. Can you give us a few minutes, whatever, blah, blah, blah. That is where I go, we'll do whatever we can within reason that doesn't affect the rest of the racing. Yes. Right. And I'm the guy that will go down into the staging lanes and go, hey, everybody, what's Julio broke the rear end and he's trying to get this thing put back together. We're going to give him 5 or 10 minutes of extra time. Does anybody have a bitch about that? You know what I mean? So everybody, because we would do the same thing no matter who it was, right? And that's fine. If, however, the guy goes and, nobody comes and tells us, and then we run everybody, and 2 minutes later, he's in the staging lanes, and then he's on Facebook and he's motherfucking us. Mm-hmm. Dude, I don't care whatever happens again. I will never give you 5 seconds. You ever tell me your shit's broke again, I'm going to speed up the class.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
that's why I prefaced this whole thing with, I'm going to build a 6-chair crybaby section. And if you are a crybaby, you will set your happy ass in the crybaby section for 30 minutes. And if you have a crew with you and they're allowing you to be a crybaby, they're going to set their happy ass in there with you too. And if you don't like it, well, then you can just get on down the road.
Yes.
See you later. Because we're here to have fun, man. That's the whole point of it. The point is to have fun, enjoy it, put on a show for people who want to come watch. And if you've got a grudge with somebody, you want to battle it out, then do it, and good luck to you and have fun doing it.
The reality of the situation is that all 3 of us know people who used to put on races who don't anymore. And not because of the money and not because of the time, but because of the headache of dealing with people that you can never make happy, that literally could have been a half dozen angry people when there were 400 that were great. And those half dozen angry people make a promoter go, screw this. It's not worth it.
I'll never forget the end of Rocky Mountain Race Week 2.0 in 21 when Matt came up calmly and then just unloaded on everybody because of 2 people. 2 people that got in his wife's face, and he was ready to say he was never doing it again.
He did say he was never doing it again. And literally the next week, me and Adam said, we're going to keep doing this. And you should keep doing this, but we're going to regardless. So don't you say another word. And that way, if you change your mind, it's okay. And we talked him off the ledge for a few weeks. And then he came back and was like, okay, you know, but see, Matt is one of the nicest people on the planet, and he's totally good until he's not. And when he's not, he's just pissed. And it's like, this is not worth it. Why do people act like this? Because he would never be that guy, and so it just affects him so much, because again, he's, nice, but it's really funny though, because June and Daphne used to laugh all the time because Matt and I are the same human being. Like
Yeah.
it's scary. Like, which is good because there have been a few times like years ago where he and I butted heads, but we like literally yelled at each other and got it out. And then we're like, oh, okay, cool. And then hugged it out and everything was fine. And we've been tight ever since. And now we're good at talking each other off the ledge because one of us will be all fired up and the other one's like, okay, I know why you're fired up, but now you need to stop because otherwise, yeah, so it's great. If we're both pissed off one time though, we're going to end up in some big fight with like, and kill people. It'll be bad.
It'll be fine.
Whatever.
We'll
be in jail. Somebody has to have the bail money. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
anyway, well, I'm excited about Roundup. I'm excited about the Tailgate Throwdown. I'm excited about everything that's coming up, and I wish you guys nothing but continued success, man. You guys do a great job, and y'all are my friends, and love seeing you guys flourish and do your thing, and keep waiting on more YouTube videos from just.
Yeah.
I know. I know.
Bad time. I've been a little busy lately, but it's okay.
It's all good. It's all good.
Well, if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area next weekend, not this weekend, but the following weekend is going to be the Hot Rod Classic, IHRA's Hot Rod Classic at Extreme Raceway Park. Pro mods, hot rods, all kinds of fun stuff. The following weekend at the Texas Motorplex, which is approximately 14 minutes down the road, Texas Radial Roundup, Texas's premier radial race, announced by yours truly and put on by Michael Hollis with a tiny bit of help from Barrett Green and a whole lot of help from Goldie. So, yeah. But we appreciate you guys all tuning in tonight. Mikey, thanks for being on the show tonight. It was good, dude.
Thanks all for having me, man.
Yeah, we appreciate it. It's always good having you here, and you stay out of trouble. I'll talk to you soon. Ryan, keep working on the truck and the other truck. And the other truck, because that's all you got now. 3 trucks.
No trucks that work. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're getting there. Hey, we're getting there. It's all about a journey. It's about the journey, not the finish. It's a journey.
See, I'm thinking about another shirt you need to do, which is like it just says "fuck this dipstick," Ryan Wing. It's a whole other story.
Just all the random shit that I forgot. Then I'm like, fuck that wire.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. All right. Thanks again, everybody. Thank you, everybody in the chat for hanging out. Goldie and Carl and everybody. Dude, Neil, of course, Barnalicious. We appreciate you guys liking. Everybody that hang out tonight, we appreciate you guys, and we will see you next time on Beards, Burnouts, and Beards. See ya.
Later.